Oh yeah, I mean, I knew we had to do this eventually. I've just been kind of procrastinating for a while. Anyways, we do actually have Save the World's birthday event going on right now. No birthday heroes, unfortunately. So you may be able to find some birthday celebration events in your quest log. Now, I'm not actually going to be focusing on these too hard, mostly because I don't particularly think I want them. Ironically, I'm doing these on my main account, which makes even less sense. Either way, there is one free in the shop, and that's kind of underwhelming considering that I already have a legendary. And I mean, that's a decent legendary hero, I believe. Double Shockwave. I had a lot of fun with that. When Sea Wolf Jonesy came out, so I do have a video on that. And of course, I unfortunately got an epic rarity of the assault rifle that I've already been using. That that is very unfortunate, but I also understand it's kind of given to me because I don't exactly have an epic rarity version of this weapon. Let's get back to the main thing here. Air quotes. Go find safe treasure. Complete a storm chest in a successful mission in a power 28 plus zone. Rewards 3025 hero XP and a rarity Fleetfoot Kitten. Not everyone can actually find storm chests very easily. Sometimes it's a bit difficult. So thankfully, I've done my research and I found a guide. If you're like me and you are at air quotes mission in Plankerton and you can't find a storm chest, here's a few tips on how you find them. You have to be in 28 zone or higher. Some people, I believe, say that you may find better chances in 34 zones, but I don't believe that is accessible to me right now. It doesn't seem to work in some game types or mission types rather, namely eliminate and collect. It only worked for me once. I got into a build the radar. Okay, so it did not work for this person in eliminate and collect, but it worked for them in build the radar. That is an interesting thing because I feel like of all missions, eliminate and collect would make the most sense to have a storm chest. You can leave games if you can't find them and rejoin a new one. However, if you do this, please go into no-fill lobbies so that you do not leave games with people in them. That's just proper etiquette. And I mean, I believe that. I do agree. If your lobby has a storm chest in it, the area will automatically be discovered even if you haven't been over there. I didn't know that actually. And of course, if you do, when you do actually successfully complete a storm chest, even if you leave, you'll keep the loot from it, but it will not count towards your mission. So you just need to actually do the storm chest and finish a successful mission. Okay, that shouldn't be too difficult, right? I mean, the hardest part about this is actually finding the storm chest to begin with. So while I unfortunately didn't have any luck with this retrieve the data mission, which I might have to go back and play later, I did, however, find some interesting luck in Ride the Lightning, which I mean is actually a good bet anyways, considering how much exploration you already have to do in Ride the Lightning. So since I'm on the air quotes mission, and I've loaded it into a Ride the Lightning mission, so when I open my map, something you'll notice immediately is that there is the briefly explored area that I'm spawned in. You can see my character's arrow. And then you can see down in the bottom corner, there's a completely separate explored area. So there's no icons down there either. But from what I tested, this seems to be exactly where I want to go. So ignoring these unrelated yellow exclamation marks that I'm passing here on the map, I'm going to head down there. I wanted that anyways, that was unrelated. Okay, now this is our storm chest. You can see, if I back up a little bit on the map, it does have this blue icon. And you can also see that it is a group activity. This means that if you can, then you will probably want to have teammates to help you out with this. You can use voice chat or even text chat just to try to let people know. It's like a simple hey, storm chest on me kind of thing like that, or even go and like mark it with loot or rally point, something like that. That will help other players know that there is in fact a storm chest available. Because regardless of whether you do this by yourself or with others, everyone involved will still get rewarded, and it does not reduce rewards if you have more people doing it. It is also worth mentioning that you want to have a lot of firepower because you want to eliminate enemies pretty quickly. You are on a fairly small time limit, So that's why having other players helps. I don't exactly know how I'm going to be able to achieve this by myself, because the way what I would do these on my main account is very different than what I would even have at my disposal here. So I'm just gonna kind of give it a try. So there's first a wave of 25 enemies. Once you complete that, under the time limit, you have to do another. You have to get to a total of 50 enemies, and then you have to fight two mist monsters. It can either be two blasters or two takers. Or it can be one of each, I think. I guess I'm just going to kind of spam the explosive weapon here, because it seems to be an effective way to clear some of these smaller enemies, just like that. You can see your time limit on the side of the screen. I'll probably do something to try to point that out to make it obvious. I've reached the timer, 25 seconds. We've got, yeah, one blaster, one taker. Right. So now we just fight them. I was waiting for him for so long. And now you can see the storm chest dropped 2 different rewards. It contains a lot of crafting materials and even some weapons, which do scale for the zone. So in my case, in a 28 zone, I'm getting fairly nice weapons for a 28 zone. If you're doing this in higher level zones, you'll get even higher level rewarded weapons. So on and so on. And of course, storm chests do continue to spawn even in higher level missions past this point. It's not a one-time thing. And they are genuinely a pretty good way to get some crafting materials and some miscellaneous weapons too. I actually hilariously got something quite fitting for the fact that I'm using a assault rifle build. It's kind of fitting that I got an assault rifle. It's a shame it had to be one that I don't particularly like, but I think that's also just a personal thing. The main quest technically done. We've completed a storm chest. Now, you cannot just leave the mission because you will lose your progress here. So now, you just have to actually complete the core mission objective. So in my case, with Ride the Lightning, I have to do Lars van and defend that. Okay, so I found the van, and I have also collected 4 blue glow. That way, and I have cut out pretty much everything else that I've been doing, which was just, exploring the map and farming. We should be good. I'm leaving this one blank for now because there's a chance it won't be used. I have no idea. I should probably actually have leveled up these. That would have been a very wise idea. But sometimes I overthink and other times I underthink. Like storm shields. I underthink storm shields. See, I don't actually see anything going through this one, so I'm glad I didn't spend much here. But see, it's when you have a lot more enemies that you kind of run into some additional problems that stem from having more enemies that the traps don't always have like perfect timing for. Especially early on where I don't actually have my traps perked up very nicely. Oh, now we have a few things running through here. But see, I waited until I could prove that they would come that way to then choose to do something with it. Oh, did I craft 3? That was a mistake. I mean, it looks like things are dying in my tunnels right now, which is pretty good. See, this is what I was talking about, the broadside configuration. Basically, you want the cannonballs to be firing back and forth like this. You don't want them to be firing like straight out. Okay, you're just an asshole. See, this is where tar pits would have helped, but I'm also not that clever. See, smashers can't damage objectives, they can only damage walls. See, I just don't currently have any realistic way of countering a smasher, which is kind of the flaw of choosing a defense mission. At least in my case here, where I'm not playing constructor. But I mean, I guess aside from that, it's going smoothly, and I probably could have figured something out for smashers if I were to really try. Okay, so now I can see... See, this is exactly what I was thinking. Spawns rotate, and now they're over here. Thankfully, they have no way up on this ledge. And I guess I'm out of rough mineral powder. That's what I get for using so many things still at tier 1. Okay, so what I've done so far is kind of set up this system that... I mean, it's a little bit more, I guess, meant for endurance and whatnot, in my opinion. Storm Shields too, I guess. Where I basically have sealing electric fields at the beginning of the tunnels. 2 tiles up just because they're still actually going to be used, and they're going to have a high radius. The point is just to damage or even eliminate enemies before they reach the tunnels. That way the tunnels kind of last longer because the durability on the traps get a little bit less used when there are less things actually making it in here, if that makes sense. Whoops, that was a complete accident, but that works well with this idea. That way I have broadsides ricocheting enemies and then a harder hitting wall dynamo. Kind of like that. That actually works surprisingly well in my experience, and I do that quite often. I did not mean to do it in this case, that just kind of happened. I don't know what I'm going to do here since I can't afford any more broadsides because they're still tier 1 and I have no more rough mineral powder. So I guess let's just wall dynamo. It's not going to be as effective because these are slower right now, I think. But I mean, hey, it might still work. And hey, I don't really care. I'm going to need to do more farming. I'm using so much material of every type. Oh well, let's start and see what happens. I did forget to double check if they could possibly ever walk around here. So instead of actually going and finally double checking that, I was just going to do this anyways. He made it pretty late to the end, but that's also, like I said, because I don't have broadsides in here. You know what I kind of want to do now? 2 minutes 30 seconds. Is it really worth it? I'm going to say no, but I'm going to do it anyways. Uh-oh. I have to deal with that. Change of plans. Go away. Go away. Go away. There. Now that that's been dealt with, can I go back to what I was trying to do? Let's place a defender with a sniper rifle. Defenders also help a lot with solo missions. I think I've talked about that in a previous episode, or multiple previous episodes. Maybe not in this exact spot, because this spot is really stupid, and some mini-boss is over here destroying everything. Proso shielded, smokescreen, okay, melee. You know, I'm never gonna kill him. He's just like, he is way above my ability to actually fight. So I think what I want to do is, so long as I can just prevent enemies from getting out of the tunnels, or getting close to the van, then I should be alright, I think. Wait. Yeah, so long as I can prevent enemies from getting over to where he is, then that alone should be good enough, because he can just do as he pleases right now. I don't really care what he's doing. And there's another smasher. I have to deal with that right now. Before he ruins everything. The way that he does. Get away. Get away. This thing has a lot of impact. Get away. Get away. There. Oh my god, he's ruined everything. That's incredible. I think I just want to watch him for a while now. That's not my mark button. Okay. What are you gonna do next? My god, he instant broke that. Alright. See, I basically just prevented enemies from getting to that, so then I guess whatever he wanted to do didn't seem to matter at all. And hey, that's a pretty successful mission. Didn't actually get any damage on the van, I don't think. Which is pretty good considering how much of the core defense around it was broken, compared to my tunnels, which seemed to survive better. And we did get the storm chest, so one mission story quest completed. I always love to see that. Okay, in terms of rewards, level 4 loot, we've got Battle Pass XP as usual, 12 drops of rain. Mostly Battle Pass XP, which is great for the Battle Pass that I'm not buying on this account. Main quest completed. I believe that was just the one-time reward for that mission. Fleetfoot Ken is a hero that I do not have. And he has increased movement speed, which is kind of fun, but not the most logical in every case. At least in my experience. Hipshot doesn't actually work with Rescue Trooper Ramirez. I remember I put that there just to fill out the slot. I'm actually going to switch that to Seawolf Jonesy over here, because that is just going to make my Shockwave ability deal more damage. And that would be nice, considering how much it's knocking back, but not really hurting anything.
Yeah, I'm a good pick. You can't go wrong with a classic.
There's also Machinist Harper in there, but I can't afford that.
Yeah, hovering at me?
Oh, I have mini reward llamas that I should just open. Don't want, don't want, don't want, don't want, don't want, don't want, and don't want. And I've already got some XP in here, as well as some additional from recycling all of this. What do I still have here that needs to be worked on? Well, this lead needs to be leveled up. I don't have a lead even in here. This one is not finished being leveled up. So I think I'll do that. This one is not finished being leveled up either. Can't afford to do that. Unless, if I recycle these, I will get enough to do that, I believe. I don't remember how much it said that costed. Oh, I didn't finish that. Because I can't afford it. Research. I'm just going to put a little bit more in offense because of how much more recently I've been using Rescue Trooper Ramirez, which this loadout is not good. I should make that very clear. It is not good. But it is kind of what I'm using right now for being offensive with assault rifles and SMGs. Mostly assault rifles because of what I've been using. My Silver Wraith is it's almost broken. Durability 142, 375. Even though that'll still last for a while, I'm going to recycle it to gain some resources back. I think maybe I'll just like play around with one of these or this for now.